What's up, music teachers? It's Ben here. I got a message from a teacher in my audience wanting some feedbacks for some content that they are going to post. So I thought that'd be a great opportunity to film kind of like a live content review, live content audit, but more importantly, give you the tools to be able to audit your content so that you're making sure that your content speaks to your brand. It also speaks to your dream students as well, and that your content is becoming more efficient and effective. So let's take a look at it. I'm going to try to read through most of it, and then we'll get into just my thoughts as I go through it as well. So, hey everyone. Are you a beginner or intermediate level pianist looking for ways to improve your practice? What kinds of thoughts cross your mind when you sit to play the piano? Playing the piano is too complicated. I'm not good enough. I need more time to practice. Any of these sound familiar? Over time, I have realized many important things about life and music. The most important of all is that these negative thoughts are false beliefs either imposed to us or that we have made ourselves believe product in our insecurity and fear of failure. Some of these beliefs are not even ours. Isn't that crazy? They come from other people's beliefs. We just got convinced about them. Thankfully, I discovered a way to disengage from these thoughts and understand that in reality, we all have a sound that is unique and incomparable to anyone else's. This is a powerful and a true fact. It does not matter how much other people practice and become technically skillful. They won't sound like you. So it's a matter for you deciding to really work on your sound. We all have a chance to stand out with our own sound. My goal is to show you how to unlock this inner voice of yours and let it shine the best way. Throughout the years, I have come up with a method that allows my clients to optimize their practice efficiently, performing achievable songs according to their level without feeling overwhelmed, feel confident with their instrument, learn songs faster using only their ears, apply and learn harmony, music theory, and composition concepts while having fun using them, develop their musical language and perform songs they like and play their own compositions using the piano, achieve their musical goals. I have achieved this by allowing them to apply these factors, develop healthy habits, active listening, building a solid piano foundation. And then I think it goes on. This song is a great German composer that I've been studying. This level for me is healthy, motivating, and allows me to feel accomplished as I move, studying song by song. I want to help you find your own level too, so that you can create consistency in learning and feel that you're actually moving forward. Say me in the comments or send me a message for more info if interested. And then there's a short little video here of some awesome playing. So we'll get into this right here. The first thing, like the reason why I read it out loud, because that's one of the first things that I actually do when I review my content. I read it out loud so that in case there are any typo, grammar mistakes, or any words that are coming across ways that are not authentic to my own voice, then I want to be able to fix that. So whatever you write, whatever I write on the page, I want it to feel like I am saying it out loud, right? I don't want to have a different voice when I speak to someone in person versus when I actually write. So I like to read my stuff out loud at first. So I'll go through the content audit that I have for myself, right? It's just a sticky note here on my computer. But whenever I audit my clients' content as well, I always go through the same exact questioning because I feel like for myself, but if you give your content to other people too, you can get into the problem of them giving biased opinions, where my goal here is not to give you my biased opinion. My goal is to help you learn how you can audit your own content, help you be your own coach. So the first question I ask myself is, am I proud to share this? Is this an authentic reflection of myself? And this is an important question to ask because more often than not, right, I see this with so many teachers that we're creating content by copying somebody else, right? It's important if you're working on your copywriting and you're emulating somebody else. That's one strategy to get better, right? But are you just copying it? Are you just blindly putting these words down because someone else told you to? Am I proud to share this? A lot of times how I think about content creation and that word create, right? Your creative process when it comes to creating social media content for your music school should be the same process that you have when you are making music for yourself. And I know that the person that sent me this composes their own music as well. You have a great idea of what your songwriting process, what your creative process is for music that needs to translate through social media content as well. It's not like it should be something different because you're doing a different sort of art form. It's all the same, right? Your creative process, the way that you are as a creative person, whether you are working on music or whether you are creating content for social media, that needs to be the same person. So I have a whole video on this. Attract high-paying students, our transformational content formula. This one right here, where I'm holding this book, The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I get a lot of who I am as a creative from that book. I've discovered who I am as a producer, but also I use those exact same ways of thinking, the mindset there for this as well. And the first thing for that is, am I proud to share this, right? I would not release a song that I am not proud to share. That is like my number one like criteria, my number one question that I ask myself in the audit. So for you got to ask yourself the same thing too, and just be brutally honest, right? Am I proud to share this? Is this an authentic reflection of myself? So if not, right? If not, then what you need to do is detach from the outcome, right? Detach from the outcome of, is this going to get me students? And make sure that you are emotionally connecting to the content. Am I talking about things in the way where I am connecting with my emotions? Am I speaking in a way with this content? Am I emotionally connecting it to it? Or am I watering it down because I think people won't understand how I think as well? So that's what you really want to ask yourself first. That's something that I cannot answer, but I can present this question for you to answer for yourself. Now we're getting into more strategy here. Am I speaking to only my dream clients and repelling the wrong ones? So this is something that goes into creating a brand and really improving your brand overall. This is the question that no matter what income level you are at, you're always going to be asking yourself this. Am I speaking only to my dream clients and repelling the wrong ones? So let's talk about that first part, speaking to only your dream clients. This is where the specificity and the clarity in your message comes into play. So for example, this right here, playing the piano is too complicated. I'm not good enough. I need more time to practice. Is this clear for your dream student, right? Is your dream student saying these exact words? Are they relating to this as well? If they are, then awesome. Like this is not a question. These are not questions to like make you doubt yourself or anything like that. You are probably doing a lot of these questions really well, but these are questions that we need to ask ourselves to continually improve our brand and for us just to be able to strive in making our brand the best possible, making sure that we are doing the best that we can. For this one, I feel like there's a lot of room for potential to get even more specific, right? Playing the piano is too complicated. What I would think about is like, what is the context in which someone would be saying this? Right? It's like, I'm not good enough. Well, they're not saying like, I'm not good enough every single time they touch the piano, or maybe they are, right? But the I'm not good enough may come from where they've gone through an audition, right? And they get the feedback from the audition panel saying that they're not good enough. So it's probably from outside people telling them they're not good enough, right? When does it happen that these quotes are happening in their head? Give them the context as well. That's where you can really speak to the dream clients. Repelling the wrong ones are also an important part. So repelling the wrong ones is as equally important as attracting the right ones. Because right here, the first sentence, hello, everybody. Are we speaking to everyone? All right. Are we trying to speak to everybody? Are you trying to speak to anyone? More likely than not, no, right? Because if we're trying to speak to everyone, we are not repelling the wrong ones. And when you do repel the wrong clients and the wrong students in your messaging, it's like a magnet. You're naturally going to attract the right people that are the right people, or are the right students. So if you're not doing this, what I want you to do is to review the specific hot topics, the key words that you are using. So if you are trying to speak to beginner and intermediate level pianists, speak to the hot topics. So what are those key words that only those people would really care about? So for example, I always like to use this one, like start versus continue, right? Start your piano journey versus continue your piano journey, or like start your piano journey versus master your piano journey. Those specific keywords are important because who do you think you'd be attracting if I used one or the other, right? Start, if I'm trying to attract advanced level piano players, they're not like, they would be really turned off by the word start your journey. But beginners, they'd be turned on by that. Same thing with master, right? Like someone who is just starting isn't even concerned about mastering their their piano skills. They're just looking to get started playing their first song. So it's almost like it could be like start your first album versus write your next album. Who do you think you're going to attract for write your next album versus start your first album? It's going to be two wildly different archetypes. So you really want to be focusing on, am I using the hot topics, the key words that you are using to speak to your dream student? So for example, for me in my content, I use music schools a lot. I use the words like burnout a lot as well, because those are problems that teachers in the beginning, they're not focused in on burnout. They like, that's not even a problem because they don't have that experience yet. But for teachers that are really experienced, that have a lot of students, they know what that feels like. So that's the way that I am trying to cater my message towards my specific dream client as well. Let's see if there's any other opportunities here. So for just go like really nuanced here, the problem that you're talking about that I'm reading is standing out with your own sound, right? And I feel like, you know, you're obviously the expert in your niche and your community, but I feel like, you know, it doesn't matter how much you practice or become technically skilled. Like having your own sound, I feel like that is a more intermediate to advanced problem that you are speaking to. So if we kind of think about like a hierarchy tree on what typically a musician's journey goes through, right? They're probably not even concerned with sounding unique yet because they haven't even touched the piano. So this is just things to think about. I'm not saying what you're saying is right or wrong right now, but it's for you to decide, because I don't know who exactly you are truly trying to target here. But if I was reading this and I was a beginner, like who hasn't touched the piano yet, then I wouldn't even be focusing on trying to stand out with my own sound because I don't even know how to create a good sound yet on the piano. So that's just something to think about. If you were not trying to attract that type of person, then awesome. You're doing the right job. You're in the right direction. But these are just things to think about. This is how I think about the really auditing content. So make sure, am I speaking to only my dream clients and repelling the wrong ones? A lot of this will not just have to do with those hot topics and keywords, but your values as well. Are you attracting dream students by your value on your way of learning piano, or are you also doing a good job of repelling people with the way that you do things as well? So for example, for me, you know, I value one of my values is teachers who are very open to making changes and evolving their music schools. If you are not, sometimes I say in my content, if you're not ready to make that shift, then you're not, you know, then my world is not for you, right? And I'm okay with that because I am ultra specific and I'm ultra honed in on making sure I speak to the right person. Because what's worse than attracting a bunch of students is attracting a bunch of the wrong students. And I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for my clients. So that's why this part is such an important part in the content audit. Next question here. Am I sharing the value of my offer? Are my beliefs and opinions real? So this is important. If not, right, make it more clear on the old way versus your way versus my way. Throw stones at the enemy. Defend your values. So a lot of things in my content, if you follow me on Facebook, or my email list, it's like really throwing stones at the traditional way. What is the old way of doing things? Can you make that really clear? What I'm always trying to do is really speak to the problem aware people. So the people that don't even know they have a problem, they're not going to want to buy because they don't perceive that they have a problem. So the people that do have a problem, what are, what is their experience that they are going through, that is related to doing it the old way, right? Them doing it themselves, them doing it with the other ways that you preach against. I'm not going to say what is the good or bad way, because we all have different opinions, but whatever you consider the bad way is the old way of doing things. Talk about, hey, this is why you are facing this problem. This is why it's so hard to get to your goal doing it the old way. Here's my way. Here is a better way. Here's why I believe it's a better way to get to where you want to go. This is what it looks like if you do implement my way of doing things. That's really what we want to do here. So in here, that's up to you to decide if you are doing that clearly or not. But I always say there's more room. There's so much more potential for us to get better with our content. So I want you to be able to look at that for yourself. Am I positioning myself as the bridge from their current situation to their desired situation? So that kind of goes into the last stint here that wasn't screenshotted. I think you put here, I want to help you find your own level so you can create consistency. I would probably make this call to action more clear, right? For me, what does more info look like? What does it actually look like on the other side? Like for me, I often say, hey, comment, apply below if you want to apply, more info. What I will do is I will send you, after you send a message to me, I will send a Google Doc with all of the details of the offer. So I tell them what I'm going to do afterwards. It makes it really easy for somebody to kind of grab into this dark, mysterious box when they know what's inside on the other side. And then also right here, throughout the years, I've come up with a method. If you want to apply that method as well with your piano skills so that you can be able to improve your practice. I would also say too, another layer to go deeper is I don't think everybody, this is just my opinion, but I believe that pianists and musicians are not just looking to improve their practice, right? That's us as music teachers, we know students need to improve their practice, but what is improving their practice going to help them do, right? What is the actual dream outcome, the true aspiration that musicians are going to get when they do improve their practice, right? Does it relate to playing on bigger stages? Does it relate to playing the music that they want, right? Is it more fulfillment? Is it better gigs, right? Especially if you're teaching more of the professional industry. Is it less stress, right? Think about those things. How does it apply to their life outside of music? Because at the end of the day, that is our mission as teachers. It is not to teach music. It is not to be an amazing musician, but it is to give our students the benefit of music that music gave to us, right? As a teacher, it's not just about music. It's more than that. It benefits our lives outside of that. That's our role here. That's our job with content creation. It's to be able to teach the value of music. And the value of music is not just improving your practice. It's not just getting better at music, but it is to create connections through music. It is to experience life through music. And the more that we can use our content to connect people to the true value of music, the better our marketing and our message is going to be. So that is really how we can get our opinions and our beliefs out there. It's by doing just that. So if you're not doing that, then what you want to do is show them how you do this for yourself and for your students. So you talk about any social proof that you have here. Talk about what does it look like for yourself as well. Make sure that these bullet points here are very clear. Can you draw what this would actually look like? That's how clear it needs to be. Achieving their musical goals, what does that look like? Right? I know that a lot of teachers, when I ask that, you're probably thinking, oh, but I have a lot of students with lots of different goals, and that's totally cool, right? I have a lot of students with a lot of musical goals. I don't know which one I should be talking about, Well, you talking about one of those goals and being ultra specific on what that is going to do you a lot better job than being super general and trying to reach out to everybody. So achieve their musical goals, for example, or like achieve their musical goals like composing their own songs and being able to play it out in front of their friends and family. Like that is super specific. I can draw that. So you want to make sure that you can create a clear picture for that as well. And then lastly, what frequency am I writing in? This goes into more of like an advanced topic, so I won't cover that right here. I won't even cover like what this actually means here. But what I do want you to think about is like, what is the emotion that I am writing through? You swap the words frequency with like emotion, but it truly comes down to that as well, where it's like, if our copy does not evoke an emotion out to the reader, then we haven't done our job right. And it ties in exactly the way that we need to play music as well. I feel like every musician needs to understand as well. And you probably know this really deeply. If you are just playing a song through the motions, technically perfect, it's not going to resonate as well as someone who's making mistakes, but is deeply connected to the music. That is like, you know the power in that, right? And a lot of teachers, a lot of us, I forget that a lot when I'm playing music. So making sure that I am deeply connecting to emotions and that there is an emotion coming out of my content, that's the important part. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of teachers make, is that we learn copywriting, we learn how to write ads through all these business people who might not be as creatively and emotionally connected to their work as we naturally are with our music. So when you are able to translate that creative process, the emotional connection that you have with music, to now your business, to your content creation as well, same process. You will write much better copy than someone who has been a copywriter for 10 plus years. And it always ties back to that as well. Bottom line, are you proud to share this? Is this an authentic reflection of myself? And am I conveying the emotions that I am feeling right now as I am writing this? Same thing applies with music. So hope that helps you out. What I will say is, like, I know I'm following your content for a while, and another, like, the last general feedback that I can give you is that this type of content, of course, is good. Like the you playing, you showing your expertise. I think what's an important balance to have is like maybe like 80% of your content should be talking to those problem aware students, where you are talking about their problem, talk about your way of doing things and the values that you have there. Like, hey, this is why you're experiencing this problem, and this is why my way is the fastest and easiest way to get there. And then 20% of your content can be done like more tutorial based, more, hey, this is how to do this, or this is like you showing off your skills. Because at the end of the day, what you just need to really do with your content is build trust. But how you stand out of the crowd is not creating content that anybody can replicate, and creating content that only you can create. So what that boils down to is your beliefs, your opinions. Nobody can replicate that. For this type of thing, to be honest, I could replicate this. Another teacher who can play this piece could probably replicate it as well. But this is good media to attach, of course, to this. I just think that having this as the focus for your brand and for most of your content, where you are talking or you're sharing value about how to get to your goals and how they can get to their goals with your way of doing things, and talking about why that's important, that's really that main focus. So feel free to take a look at some of my most recent copy as well. I'm always trying to implement and trying to get better at my content, so that can help as well. So let me know if you have any questions. If anybody has any questions on this content audit as well, feel free to write these questions down, just so you have that for yourself, that you know how to coach yourself through your own content, and that you're making sure you're speaking to the right students. So let me know if this helps, and thank you.